From the kitchen of the cabin, it's the 5 Games for Doomsday review. Last Will. Are games funny? Mostly, no. And I can hear you scoffing. I can hear you shaking your heads with patronising looks on your faces thinking, "Now, Ben, I've had some of my funniest ever moments with games. I've laughed so much that I had to remortgage my house for the dry cleaning bill." And I'm sure that's true, but that doesn't demonstrate that games are funny. It merely demonstrates that people are funny. Put a number of people within close proximity of each other, and one of two things will happen. There'll either be peals of laughter or screams of recrimination. Add booze and you vastly increase the likelihood of both happening. There are games that set out to be funny. These are usually games that have funny words on cards or that ask grown-up people to be zany. They fall into one of two categories, the outright dreadful or the soon-to-be shit. There are those kind of games that proliferate on Kickstarter. Games like Pillowcase Hat, Can You Out-Duke David Duke? Or Chicken Tits, the hilarious game of juxtaposition that comes with the Can I Suck on My Car's Exhaust Pipe Now Please expansion. The kind of games thought up by people who've had their higher brain functions disabled by too much Bud Light and are now walking moron machines, hell-bent on dragging collective intelligence down so far that we find their brand of comedy murder funny. Then there are games like Cards Against Humanity. You play it once and laugh until your sides burst, and every time after you want to shoot yourself in the foot like a despairing World War I soldier just so you can get out of the game. Then there's fucking zany. Don't talk to me about zany. Funny coloured clothes and making robot noises isn't funny, and if any dickhead tries to put Ugtech in front of me, I'm setting fire to those inflatable plastic hammers and disfiguring their face with them. Games just aren't funny. Humour happens around them. Games do other things brilliantly. They provide challenge. They ask us to work within limitations. But games themselves don't make us laugh. We do that ourselves. Then there is Last Will by Czech Games Edition, a game that contradicts everything I just said. Last Will is a game of Victorian profligacy. Your sadistic great-uncle has left you and 3 of your cousins a small fortune that he wishes you to waste. The one who wastes it with the most efficiency will unlock the great fortune and have enough money to pickle their own liver and contract as many venereal diseases as they can before they inevitably die young. Last Will is ostensibly a Euro engine builder. By the judicious purchasing of helpers, companions and white elephants, you can build a machine that efficiently blows all of your cash and if you plan well enough, leaves you with mountains of debt. In this, Last Will is a beautifully engineered machine. It enables you with every action to refine and hone your engine until by the end of the game you're able to set it off and watch it tick along, taking your money with it. And it is within the mechanics of the game that the humour emerges. Czech Games Edition might be the only company that successfully makes beautifully wrought games that are also funny. From the USSR-inspired dysfunctionality of Space Alert and Galaxy Trucker to the affectionate poking of D&D fantasy tropes in the dungeon games, CGE has managed to create humour that is unique to games. It is humour that is baked into the game mechanically, not just slathered on the top with funny art and witty bon mots in the rulebook, although they do that wonderfully too. Last Will is the apogee of that approach. From sending out your chirpy Cockney errand boys to engage the help of immoral estate agents and lazy gardeners, to caroling larcenous old friends that are more than happy to help you in spending your money. All of this is achieved through the gameplay itself, not the dreaded death of theme, the flavour text. Companions cost money to install in your downtown pied-à-terre, and old friends reward you with extra actions as they egg you on into even more debauchery. Last Will is a glorious concept carried out with unerring ability. In some games, theme is delivered by keywords and calling things things, but Last Will has managed what so few games ever do. You really feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Every time I've played this game, there has been a moment from someone around the table of wide-eyed wonder when they've placed a little white token on a card and realised a round later that they had to pay an extra £2 because they took their horse to the opera. Last Will plays with its time period so beautifully. It understands the contradiction of the Victorian era, that underneath every starched collar and top hat is a debauched pervert ready to down 20 bottles of plonk and smash up a restaurant. And on top of this, it's a wonderful game too. Last Will is an anarchic gallop through the hypocrisy of the Victorian age, and in terms of comedy in games is the high watermark. And if you haven't played this, I suggest you nip down to your gentleman's club and give it a whirl today. This review has been made possible by the support of my patrons at patreon.com/5G4D.